Hey, welcome to today's daily sprint. We're talking about increasing our purpose, passion, and meaning. And today, I want to take you through a journey of 3 things that are subconscious. That once we can admit these 3 things, kids are playing in the background. Once we can admit these 3 things, we literally step into greatness. And these 3 things are the reason that less than 3% of the world sees the financial success that they want to see. Do you know that if you make over or 440,000 or more, I think you're in the Gary Vaynerchuk, I just listened to this. It's either you're in the top 3% or 1% in the entire world. Why is that? Because the 3% can admit these 3 things. And I have gone through all 3 of these things. I'm continuing to work through these 3 things. So number 1 is you have to admit, I have an ego. For the longest time, especially when we launched Macro Millionaire, I didn't want to go what I called backwards. I'm like, I don't want to get back and pounding the pavement, direct reach outs, man. I'm 40 years old, man. I'm going to pay someone to do that. And I did. And it did not work. I launched funnels, I paid tens of thousands of dollars, and it did not work. And finally, somebody sat down across a sushi table from me and said, Jesse, you will never get this thing off the ground and have it reach its potential with your ego. And I see this now all the time. I see coaches saying things in all different companies, saying things like, I don't need to do outreach. Clients just come to me. And I'm like, no way. That is awesome, man. Holy cow. I'm not saying that, we don't get referrals or things like that. Of course we do, but I'm like, wow, you don't have to do any outreach? That's amazing. And then I see the same people say, I don't have the time for and I don't have the money for. Something kind of broke there. There's an ego. So the second thing we need to admit, okay, we have this ego. Our egos are actually protecting us from something. And that is number 2. We have to admit, okay, I have ego. We get past that. I got past the ego. I'm like, fine, I'll step into doing outreach. Then it was, this is why my ego was saying those things. I have fear. I have fear. Well, understanding and admitting I am scared, saying that as a man or as an entrepreneur, that's tough. That's tough. Or as a leader, maybe you're a leader watching this and you're like, that's tough to say. I'm afraid. That the term fear is mentioned like several hundred times in the Bible. It's a real deal. We all have it. Some of us just admit it and some of us don't. So when we say, I admit I have fear, we are defining and exposing the truth. We're putting it out there. I have fear. That's the truth. The reason why I'm not pulling the trigger all the way on this business opportunity is because I have fear. The reason why I'm not doing direct outreach is because I have fear. The reason why I keep saying I can't afford to do this is because I have fear. Define and expose that truth, and now you've defined the enemy. So the next thing that we need to do to take that step further, okay, so we've admitted I have a big fat ego that was trying to protect me, okay? It was trying to protect me from what? Step 2, fear. Now, what am I afraid of? If you're an online entrepreneur, if you're any entrepreneur, we're afraid of rejection. It's the number 1 fear. So once we understand these things, and I love the analogy of a waitress. A waitress basically, or waiter or waitress, basically works for a 20 to 25% commission, depending on how people are tipping. So let's just say a 20% commission. So every time they say, hey, would you like another round? Would you like another cup of coffee? Would you like an appetizer to go with that? They're increasing their commission, okay? They work for 20% commission. And what do I say? I'll say, no, I don't want another round. Or no, I'm not having an appetizer. Or no, I'm not having whatever it is that's suggested. Do you think that they go and like crying like, oh my God, I was rejected? No, they're like, hey, no worries. No worries. Okay, they're there to serve, okay? Make some suggestions, and they're gonna hear no 9 out of 10 times. Okay, otherwise they would sell 50 beers a night to the same person, and they don't do that. Eventually that person says no. So I love that analogy. People are gonna tell you no in your business. They're not rejecting you. They're not rejecting your person. If anything, they're just passing on opportunity that they don't see for themselves. No problem. But when we think of it this way, now we're trivializing the fear, right? We're kind of trivializing. We're like, yeah, that kind of makes sense. obviously it would be pure arrogance to say that our opportunity is for everyone, right? It's just not everybody's in the market for our product and service. So why are we afraid that certain amount of people are going to say no? So hopefully these things can unlock the brain, unlock some things in your brain, and you can say, hey, the ego is not my amigo. Okay, even though it's pretending to be. I am afraid of this, and then I am afraid of rejection. And then we can trivialize that rejection and get out there and make the impact that your business, that you were created to make. Thanks for tuning in. I'd love to hear your comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Have a great growth-driven rest of your week.